Hello everyone, Kieran Oversappian here from Filmstorm Studios, and as promised, bringing you part 3 of create our loop motion system for Unreal using the open world anim set. And as you can see where we left off, pretty much all of our directional input was working. So you can see that if I push left, he takes off, push back. So basically all the blends are working. There's some polishing we need to do for in between the actual movement, so I mean the actual transitions, so we'll make a few adjustments to that. If I'm pressing shift, left shift at the moment, we're not sprinting, so we're going to hook that up, and we're also going to put a jump in as well. So as you can see, we'll fix all that up and get that looking nice and smooth. Alright, so if we escape out of there, to get started with the sprinting, let's jump over into our third person character. And here we are, we've got our event graph that we've been building. So we've got all this stuff. We can probably comment this, so let's just highlight this all. And we're just going to call this the turn rotation speed up. I'll zoom in so you can... Basically that's all we're doing. As soon as we start the turn, we're going to speed up the rotation. We covered this in the previous tutorial. But now let's focus on setting up the sprint. And one of the things that we need to do is actually set up a sprint button inside our inputs. So we need to come up into edit, project settings. And it doesn't have to be left shift. You can always make it like like sprinting with A button. You can make it like left bumper on your controller. You can make it spacebar if you want. You can do whatever input you like. So I'll show you how to set that up. If we come over for action mappings, so basically that's a predefined button, so it's like a boolean, so that you press it down, that's yes. If you lift it up, it's no. Basically that's what an action is. The axis goes between 0 and 1, and you can like interpolate between those values, so you can have like 0.5. But for our needs, we need an action mapping. So let's click on this little plus button, and you can see new action mapping, and we want to call it whatever we want. So this is going to be called sprint, and let's make left shift. And you can also make another one, and you can make this like gamepad, and you can see you have all these different things. You've got like face button, you got like all these different, so you can make it like button, face bottom, so face button bottom, so this is going to be A if you're using the Xbox one, so you can have that as well. Excellent, so now that that's done, let's just close this. And if you come back to your event graph, you'll notice if we right mouse click and go input sprint, you can see we have a new action event called sprint, and this is from that new thing that we just created. So let's drag this out, and we want to actually bring this in. We want to say set. So if we press it, we want to say it is sprinting, and if we release it, we want to, we also want to set it, and it's not going to be sprinting. So that's a little fast shortcut. You can just drag them straight into and hook them in. Cool. And what we're actually going to do, we're actually going to put some camera shake on this sprint as well to give it a bit more weight. And this is a really cool way of doing it. So we can just bring this out and create a branch. And let's also plug this guy into here. So if we are true, we're going to play camera shake, but I think first we're actually going to need to do get player camera manager, and I think there's a special camera shake, play camera shake, there we are. So you have to drag out from there rather than dragging out from this one, and then we're going to plug the true into here. We need to create an actual class to handle the camera shake, our custom camera shake. It's going to be in local, and that should be groovy. However, if it is false, we are going to stop all camera shakes. There we are. And let's bring this one in here. And we're going to do it immediately, and that should be good. So now all we need to do is we actually just need to come and set up the actual camera shake variable and create a custom class for it. So let's just compile that for now. And let me just grab this and whack that in there so we can toggle between these easier. So I'm just in this folder. Let's just right mouse click new blueprint class, drop down this little all classes, and we can actually search for a camera shake. And we want to select that one, so you select, and make it something like cam shake sprint, so you know that this is just relating to your sprinting. So you can even put make another camera shake specifically for like a hard landing, so you can really shake the camera. So that way you can have different oscillations and different shake values. Alright, so basically we want the oscillation duration to be -1, so we want it to go forever as long as we're holding the button down. Let's pop open the pitch. I'm not sure which ones we need to change. I think for this one I used the roll, so let's make this roll 0.7, frequency of 18, and the offset at random. And I'm pretty sure that was the only one I affected. Let me just double check this one. I made these all zeros. I'm not sure if that actually affects any of the values, but just to save you time to get the same value that I have. And that should be good. Alright, so let's compile and save. We'll go Control Shift S, and that saves everything. Groovy. Now let's pop back over to here and let's drop this down. You can see we have our new camera shake. Excellent. Now let's compile and let's just do a new editor preview. You can just click this little arrow that pops this down. There you go. So I'm holding Shift and we're getting a nice little camera shake. And you can see even if we can sprint now because everything is actually already all pre-set up in our blueprints. So that was nice and easy. But you can see that there must be a problem with the camera shake not turning off. Now that might be because of some other problem. That's right, we haven't actually plugged this in, so this I just need to say, there we go. Now it will function correctly. And I'll let go, and the sprint has gone away. There you go. And you could probably even make a previous branch before it even gets into it to say if I'm not actually pressing anything, if I'm not moving, then don't even shake it. But for now, that's I'm sure you'll be able to figure that one out. So, so we'll just leave it for now. Okay, let's just comment this, and we'll call this sprinting cam, or we just call sprinting, as well as cam shake. Groovy. Alright, so now let's head on over to our Anim blueprint and start working on altering the jumping. Alright, so here we are, we'll jump into here, and you can see what we put these guys in, but we haven't actually done anything with them. So let me come into here. So firstly, I think we need to start to plug these guys in, and then like put all the conditions in. So from starts, we need to plug this in, and basically we just want to plug is in air into here, and we'll set each condition as we go so we don't forget any. So that's 1. Let's drag this one into jump 4. This is our walk, jog, sprint. And this one is also is in air. Cool. And we've also got stops. Stops needs to go into jump 4. And this is in air. Good. We've also got idle. Idle can go into jump 4. So we need to make that is in air. now jump fall needs to go into either land to walk or a land to idle. And for our first one, for this one, for the jog, we're going to grab a speed. Oops, I'm going to grab the speed. Just going to get that. We're going to do a greater than. So is it a greater than this 0.01? And we're going to make it and not boolean, and if we're not in the air. So if we are still moving and we're not in the air, then we should do this basically a land to walk or jog or sprint. So basically we're still going to be moving if we're pressing it down. And then of course this one is going to be just a land to idle. So basically it's actually the I think it's the reverse of what we just did. So we want to grab speed. We want to say if it's less than, because we want to see if it's less than the speed that if we're pressing anything. And not bool, and not in the air as well. So we're not in the air, and then let's plug that into that one. Cool. Alright, so now to tidy this up, we actually need to then say, okay, well idle needs to go to idle, but we can also go from idle straight into start if we are starting to press it. So again, let's grab this one, and in here we're going to grab speed, and speed is less than, so remember we're going to idle, so it's basically land to idle, and we are going to idle, so we didn't press anything, so we're now testing that. So we're going to say and bool, and that and bool we're going to then get less float less than, so this is going to be 0.2. We're going to do the time remaining ratio of that, so but we'll have to wait until we get that animation set up, because you won't be able to see that option, so we'll pop back in a second. It's going to give us a warning because it can't finish that, but that's fine, we'll finish that off. And basically this is going to be the reverse of what we just did. So this one, let's drag it off from here. You can really do it anyway. Sometimes it's easier doing it backwards, just to see which way you like it. And this is going to be greater than 0.01 because we are going to get this. Cool. And then make this less than float. And it's going to be 0.9. And then again, we're going to have to put that time remaining ratio in. But once we get the animations, we'll come and just pop those in, and that will be all good. Finally, I think we need to also sync this guy, the land to here. We're going to plug that into here because we are already moving. And this one, this one's a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to say or. Alright, and we've actually got two more time remaining ratios, so let's just work backwards and then we can come and plug them in. So we've got an and we've got another and down here. So basically it's either going to say this one or this one. So this one is going to be less than float, and less than 0.4, and greater than, and this one's greater than 1.1, and speed, let's plug the speed into this one, and then we want to also get this and say less than float, and less than float is 1.1 as well, and then this one is less than float 0.9. And then we put the two ratios in here as well. Cool. Alright, so that is pretty much all of that set up. I don't think there was anything else. Let me just double check. I think everything else looks pretty good for now. And if we need anything else in there, we can come and set that up. So now let's begin setting up those animations like I talked about. So let's come into this jump in fall, the very first one that they all connect into. Let's grab our speed, and then let's come to our asset browser. Let's bring this up, and let's go to the bottom where our blend spaces will be, and we want to say I don't think we actually had one for blend space jump start. No, so we'll have to actually create that one. So let's come over to here, blend spaces. Let's right mouse click animation, and animation blend space. I think, let me just check, was this a one, I think it was a 1D? Yeah, I think this is a 1D blend space. Okay, so we just want a 1D blend space. And oh, which one? I think we're using this one. Hopefully, we'll see. Let's call blend space jump start. Yes, that was right. Alright, so firstly, we want to grab our ledge for, basically just look for the same one. The reason why all your animation names in the pack are different is because Unreal doesn't let me have longer animation names than like 15 or 16 characters. So you have to really trim them, and you also have to include anim underscore at the start, so that eliminates 5 characters. So imagine trying to name all of your animations like kind of like good names that you can understand with limited characters. It gets pretty tricky. So sometimes I have to really cull the names down. So probably the best thing is just to find the animation that kind of sounds like, and most of them are in the folders that they start with as well. So like ledge is in ledge, and you'll get the idea. Alright, so the first one we're going to drag there. And firstly, we need to actually set our speed before we start getting too crazy. So let's come up to asset details, and up here we're going to make the horizontal axis called speed. We're going to make the grid divisions 8 and the maximum axis value of 2, and probably a nice interpolation time of 1.5. Cool. Now in this second line, so we've put that first one in, the anim ledge for. In this one, let's make this one the walk jump. So we need to find walk jump, that one. And then we want to come to, I think it's this one, and we want to put jog jump, jog underscore jump, jog jump. Now which one do we want? Let's just save this. Let me just compare this to what I have. Start. And also we'll need to go back through our animations and do this. I think this is the one. So jog jump SS. This is the one we want. Alright, so let's jump out of that, go back to our jump start. Let's look up jog jump again and make it SS. Boom. Again, let's just quickly jump back into these ones and make these root motion, because we want the root motion to also drive our jumping animations. And also our ledge chain. I'll probably just look for that here. Was it ledge chain or ledge jump? Ledge 4. Ledge 4. There we are. And make that root motion. Cool. Finally, let's swing back to here, and we're also gonna, oops, make it down. we need a sprint jump, and root motion, save, close that one, scroll down, grab that jump start, and then let's find that sprint jump. Alright, so now hold shift, you can easily see that we have all of our different speeds all set up. So now we can come back to our Anim blueprint, grab this one, we can plug our speed into that speed variable that we made and plug that into there. Alright, so that's our first blend space done. This is going to handle all our jumping starts and also the fall. So let's compile. Let's jump back. Let's go into our land to walk and jog. And we'll also, again, we'll probably need to create the speed and then the actual jumping land. So let's get speed. So let's just leave that. Let's come back here. Blend spaces. Let's create a new animation blend space. Whichever one was in our open world. Yep, that one. And BS_jump land. Cool. Okay, let's jump up to our asset details. We need speed again. Speed. Maximum of 2. Can leave interpolation time at 0. We can always adjust that later. Alright, so this one is, the first one's going to be a walk, jump, walk Jade land, I believe is the one. Yep, that's the one. So root motion, save. Let's actually just go through quickly and do the other one. So we want a jog, jog, jump, jog, jump land. Yep. So you can kind of guesstimate it by saying jog, jump, land, jog, jump, start. I think no, it's stop, that one's stop, and then this one's start, and then this is stop right foot. So that kind of gives you an idea. So there we go, save that one. And then we've got the sprint jump land. So you can either do like the roll, but let's just make that. Alright, so that's all of those ones that we need. Let's come down to our jump land and then let's just look it up. So we've got jump. So we've got our sprinting one. We've got our walk jump land, and we've got our jog jump land. And basically that's where they sit. And you can see the different timings. Cool. Alright, so save, back to here. Let's grab the jump land into speed and into the final pose, and let's compile that one. And then into land to idle. Now land to idle is actually, I think we just used the single walk jump landing animation. So let's just look up walk jump landing high. Yep, so this is the hard, walk jump landing hard. So that's, you don't press anything and he just goes down. You could even just have him do the normal, that one, so he just goes into an idle. But I quite like the hard landing effect when he's not moving. Alright, so yep, that's just plugged in there, and let's compile. Now again, we need to go back and then hook up those time ratios. So firstly, let's do this one. So let's start with this bottom one and we'll work our way up. So here you can see we've got this. So let's drag off from 0 and we're going to make time remaining. And we want the ratio, and you can see it populates that with this one. Okay, that should be good. Let's jump back in and go up one. And this one, let's drag out. Time remaining ratio. This one. So that's set up. Compile. And then we also want, I think there was one more, this one. And yeah, these had the two of them. So this one is again just time remaining ratio BS jump land. And that one as well. So basically it's just a mirror image of it. Alrighty, so I think that is most of that setup done. So let's just cross our fingers and press play and see what's going to happen. Alright, so I'm not pressing the button. You can see it goes into that soft landing. Let's try and jog and sprint and jump off this end bit. Cool, look at that. Alright, so I'm actually going to keep holding the button down and see if he goes straight into a jump run. Okay. That's good. Cool. Alright, so that is pretty much all of those ones done. Again, if you don't like how slowly the animation is, or the guy is rotating from the start, you can always go into here, into your character blueprint, and you can even say increase rotation from start. You can always make his starting rotation a bit faster. So you can make it from 50, make it like 180. I think that was a good value when I was doing some more playing around with my other project. So make it 180, and then for the reset, the other blueprint or the other timeline, make it 180 so it goes back down. So you can see this one is now 180 as well. Okay. And then you also want to come over to your character movement and say the rotation rate from 180 at the start. And this was one thing that actually made the character seem a lot more kind of responsive, especially when you're doing like those quick movements. It did help quite a lot. Okay, and let me just come back over into here. Sorry if I'm jumping around a lot. I'm just trying to fix lots of different little things. Let me just actually bring up my other project, and I just want to walk you through what each of these blend settings should be, because I used lots of magic numbers to get everything looking quite nice. So just bear with me. Alright, so this one, so I'm just going to point at it and then I'll tell you what it is. So this one is 0.15, so that's exactly the same. This one is 0.25. So if your ones aren't the same, so just change them. So this one is 0.15. This one is 0.25. Going to the start, from here, I have it at 0.3. Coming down is 0.2. This one is 0.2 as well. What's this one? Oops. Select it. Yep. So this one is 0. Wait, which one are we going? Yeah, 0.2. 0.2. I'm pretty sure all of these other ones are fine for all the jumps. It was just mainly the start and stops. Yeah, so basically these are pretty much the only ones that I changed. So these three. So this going to start is 0.15, this is 0.25, and this one going here is 0.3. And I'm pretty sure that stop one I didn't change either. Yeah, that's 0.2 as well. So that just changing those will actually give you a lot nicer feeling when you're playing. And now you can see that you've got that really nice jump motion and the sprinting with the camera shake. And again, you can also do like a trace down when you land. So you can say if I land, play a small camera shake for the shift. So that looks really nice. So thank you everyone for watching. This has been Kieran Over Sapien for Film Storm Studios, and I'll catch you all in the next tutorial.